Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. I don't hear myself at all. I don't know if you hear me. Hopefully you hear me. If you hear me, then welcome, because it's another highly professional stream from the folks here at Rocksmith. Hi, my name is Dan Amrick. I'm the community developer on behalf of Rocksmith, and we are going to be streaming all 4 very short songs from one of the coolest punk bands around, NoFX. Yes, they sold out to us. No, we're very grateful that they were able to, they were willing to license their material for this use so that more people can learn how to play their songs. We'll play all 4 today. We'll also give away some prizes from Ernie Ball. And we'll give away some DLC so that you can play NoFX yourself at home for free, possibly. And if not, I mean, cough up. It's good material. We will also have our first segment is pre-recorded because 2 of the people that really wanted to play on the stream this week are unavailable today. So we'll take you all the way back to 24 hours ago when we recorded our first song. But after that, of course, the chat will always be live. Honeypot01 is here. UB Vertigo is here. These are the people that can answer your questions. If you have questions for us during the course of the show, by all means, ask them. Throw in a little @RockSmithGame. Makes it easier for me to see. But we'll go through and we'll answer as many of your questions as possible as we go through the show. So we're in for some fun today. Let's kick off the fun with the trailer for the NoFX DLC song pack, available now, and we'll be back with our first song after this.
Right, I
So that's what we have this week. Some good steaming pile of punk, I guess you could say. Very happy to finally have NoFX in the library, and I think some of the fans out there know this, but this was one of those wonderful cases where we actually said, you know, if you want to reach out to the fan, to the artists as fans, if you want to reach out through the social channels and fan clubs and stuff like that, and just let them know, like, hey, Rocksmith is a thing, and I'd like to see your music in there. Then, you know, that can sometimes move the needle. And this time it did. That is how this one came to be, is we got a bunch of requests, but then their management reached out. They said, we got all these people saying, like, we should be in Rocksmith. You guys want to work together? We're like, yes, we do. So thank you if you're one of the people that did that. And, again, if there's a band out there that you're hoping that will someday get, it does not hurt to ask politely through the fan channels. They want to know what their fans want, and this was a case where it totally worked out. I am happy to do this pre-recorded bit with two people that are not going to be in the office on Thursday. Travis Kindred is here, and Adrian Comley is here.
Hello.
Hello, both of you. The first song was actually one that you did, and it's a miracle that you're here because you are going to be out of the office, but you said like weeks ago, I'm a huge NoFX fan. I really want to play on the NoFX stream. I've got you. And then you came to me, you're like, oh, I'm going to be out of the office. I'm so sorry. I'm
I gotta go on vacation, you know.
You poor guy. And so,
life is hard, man.
But
life is hard.
As it turns out, Travis also has a conflict tomorrow, so he can't be here. So I was like, would you be willing to play my favorite palindrome, Bob, by NoFX? And you said, let me see if I can figure out the guitar. Were you able to figure out the guitar? You are holding one.
I'm holding a guitar, you know.
Which path are you going for?
I'm going to play lead and see how it goes.
Okay.
You know.
So you're basically going through on the spirit of being a huge fan rather
Pretty
than
much,
having heavily prepared for
well,
this.
you know, we're holding it down for Team Not in the Office on Thursday.
Right,
so,
appreciate that.
you know,
Hashtag Team Not in the Office on Thursday.
But yeah, no, NoFX was a huge deal when I was a kid, so pretty.
They're still a huge deal
I mean,
now. Thank you very much.
Yes, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. But I
You
mean,
should say they were a huge deal to you when you were a kid.
yes, maybe that's a better way of putting
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, but yeah, I said pop punk and death metal. I'm in.
Those are your two.
Those are my two. Like,
roles.
you know, you got me.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, this is a pretty fun one, too, especially the lead path. The lead and rhythm are roughly the same. The lead has a few sort of octaves up in the higher registers, a couple of substituted chords. But the biggest difference is there's the trumpet solo. We tracked the trumpet solo and we put it on guitar for the lead path. I think it's really fun. It's a super fun solo to play. You know, I originally didn't transcribe it, and I think Brian Chu, he gave me a review, and he was just like, oh, this trumpet solo is really fun. You should put it in the game. And I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, sure.
And sure enough, it's super fun.
Yeah.
So you're going to have fun with that. And
Yeah, it's a really.
you know, and like NoFX bass, it's just super fun.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of a better descriptive word for it.
That stuff's
It's
super fun to play. And I mean, this song is also, it's just hilarious. I always love self-conscious, like self-aware punk songs that are self-awarely about the punk scene.
Yeah,
it's
right.
fantastic. It's that very
Meta
like,
punk.
yeah, very yes, meta punk. So I'm pretty.
So
Ready to have some fun.
You're ready to super fun.
Super fun.
The song is called Super Fun. No, the song is called Bob. It's one of the 4 songs in the NoFX song pack that's available this week. So yeah, let's get it going. I'm going to pretend like we're live. Again, we're coming right back live after this song. We'll come into our giveaway. We've got Ernie Ball stuff to give away after this song. But I'm going to pretend
Remember,
like I'm
guitar's
using
on
the
the top
internet
part.
Yeah.
so that you can ask questions now. That's totally okay.
He spent 15 years getting loaded, 15 years till his liver exploded. Now what's Bob gonna do now that he can't drink? The doctor said, what you been thinking about? Bob said, that's the point. I won't think about nothing. Now I gotta do something else. Oi, oi, oi! Past the time and someone shaving, then he got a new identity. 62 on their cushion boots and a girl who rides a scooter to take him out of town. They would get away, riding
super fun
Yeah.
is absolutely accurate.
Bob.
Why not transcribe the ridiculous scat? Because, Hocus Pocus by Focus.
Right.
Pody went ahead and did all of the ridiculous vocal stuff and tracked it to guitar.
That's true.
Were you tempted?
I was tempted to do that. I think the ultimate reason was that the upbeat thing is so integral to the song.
Oh, it's so much fun.
You can't not play that.
And it's I think it's just so much fun to listen to, and it's just so it's such a fun part to kind of like just get really silly about. I think that's a key thing,
so
and
great.
it's so self-referential, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I mean, in Hocus Pocus also, there's no real guitar part
Right, exactly.
underneath that, so it's sort of like
What else are you
there's-
gonna do?
There's a little
Right.
keyboard pads, but they're just that. They're just like chords to add structure, and it's like, well, okay, yeah, then I guess we can go ahead and
So I have an
do
inkling
scat.
that vocal line is his shifting between notes might be a little,
there's a little-
infractions that the guitar doesn't allow.
There's some weird
Bends.
stuff in there, yeah. But and that trumpet solo is so iconic.
Oh, my
right?
God.
Yeah, it's just so much fun.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And it's a short tune too, so it's just
It is.
like
Yeah.
2 minutes, yeah.
jump in, jump out, really fun, really approachable, very
Yeah.
easy to get.
Cool. Thank you both.
Thank you for having
Much
me.
appreciated. And enjoy your day off today, because now we're going back to the future.
Yes.
Right now, it's time for our Ernie Ball giveaway. So if you'd like to win a prize pack from our friends at Ernie Ball, it's got lots of good stuff that we're about to show you. Now's the time to pay attention to the chat room. Our friends UB Vertigo and Honeypot01 will let you know what you need to do to win. And Travis is going to do his classic pose.
my sign-off.
You're ready. And so here's what you could win. Oh boy! I thank you for cutting it off too, because otherwise, Travis would just stand there with his thumbs in the air forever, like posing for nobody. Hey, here's all those prizes I was talking about yesterday in that pre-record. We're back live, everybody. Everything you see here is yours to win if you are smiled upon by the Moobot. You're going to get some brand new strings for both your guitar and your bass. These are Ernie Ball regular slinky strings. We use these here around the office as well. So they come in many different flavors and many different colors and stuff. But this is the 10 to 46 on the guitar is a really good middle of the road medium gauge. So a lot of guitars, when you buy them new, they come with these. A peg winder, which makes changing those strings a lot easier. And also you've got the Wonder Wipes, which is something that I always champion. It's basically a maintenance system for your guitar, and it makes polishing a little bit easier. You can clean the strings easily with these little pre-moistened towelettes. Highly recommend it, and you'll get a sampler pack so you can check it out for yourself. Brand new strap. Always good to have a spare one of these in your case or in your gig bag. You never know when your friend's is going to fall apart, and you go, "Don't worry, I've got Ernie Ball quality right here. You can use it, but you give it back." And right now they're black, so it is very similar to the one that you see there in the photo. And of course, picks, lots of picks. A dozen of Ernie Ball's picks and 3 of our exclusive Rocksmith picks, which you can only get here. This is the only place you can find them. They are black and white. We still have some more of those 1,000-song milestone picks. Plus, you've got the brand new pink picks that you may have seen floating around. Some of the winners from the previous weeks have already mentioned that they've got them, and they've put up pictures of them on the Twitters. And we like that. If you do win this, if you are the person that Moobot smiles upon today, please do send out a tweet or a Facebook post or something, letting people know not only that you are luckier than they are because you got free stuff, but also it's nice when you can call out at Ernie Ball on Twitter and let them know, like, the guys at Rocksmith didn't just pocket these and take them home for their own bands. They gave them to their fans, and that's you. So good luck. We've got one of those now. We'll give away another one later on in the show. And, of course, we have some DLC codes coming up after our next song, which happens to be Seeing Double at the Triple Rock, which was note-tracked, I believe, by the one and only Jason Kokel. Hi, Jason Kokel.
Hi. It was me.
It was you. And Chris Wu has joined in because we needed a bassist, I think, basically, right?
Yeah, well,
Hey.
no, you asked me if I wanted to play anything. I actually took a spot from someone.
Well, that.
I think
well,
I took Pody's spot.
you did, yeah, because we needed Pody on the Wheels of Steel today, really desperately. Because if you watch the show a lot, you know that Travis Kindred and Brian Pody are the reasons that the show works. They are both the directors and the technical directors of the show at this point. And with Travis out, I'm like, Pody, you're chained to the desk. Sorry. Hey, Chris, how do you feel about punk bass lines, especially ones that are only about 2 minutes long?
They're fast. There's a lot of notes in that time.
That is exactly right. You're going to earn
worth
this
when it comes to notes.
Do you have any other suggestions for us, Kokol, on this one?
Yeah, this is quite a pinky workout. The main riff for the guitar part there's a lot of pinky work on it. So
good, because I think a lot of people
yeah.
are sloppy on that, or they don't want to play with their pinky, or they feel like, oh, it feels uncomfortable. You do get used to it. You have to build that up. So if this is one of those songs where you could build it up, that's great.
You could probably avoid using it if you wanted to stretch your first and third fingers, but I would not advocate doing that. I would just play it as written.
All right.
It is written.
Well, let's do it. Seeing Double at the Triple Rock by NoFX, one of the 4 songs in this week's NoFX
Heard that
song
place
pack.
is closing.
That place is closing. This is named after apparently a bar in Minnesota, or a club in Minnesota. And apparently they have, I don't know if they've lost their lease and they're still looking for it or what, but they're done at the end of the month. Chris, I really had no idea that the song was quite that fast and brutal when I asked you to play it.
I chose it. You asked me if I wanted to play any song, and I happened to choose this one.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
well, good.
Because it's fun. I do think I actually blistered my fingers because I don't play bass enough.
But that's okay. You both got 99.2%. So that's kind of impressive. You actually kept up with Kokol.
We're seeing double.
You're seeing
at
double
the Triple Rock.
at the Triple Rock.
That's how it goes.
Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Anything else you want to add? I mean, these are incredibly short songs. 2 minutes, 20 seconds for Seeing Double at the Triple Rock.
Yeah, maybe we can talk for twice as long as the song is.
I have no problem talking for a very long time. It's funny because Big Tony Purple was like, oh, man, these songs are so short. Even Dan won't be able to get us to an hour this week. And I'm like, oh, I see that challenge, and I will raise you by 15 minutes. Let me tell you this fascinating story about, actually, let's do that next giveaway then, because I think honestly, this music is pretty self-explanatory. Mad Al had asked about the rhythm patterns on this because he was having a little trouble with them, and I had suggested that, and you can tell me if I gave the right advice here. I had suggested that when it comes to this kind of really fast stuff, when there are zones when there are pains that you don't strum, it's really you're still moving your hand. You just don't make contact with the strings an awful lot of the times. Is that how you approach the punk?
I'm not sure if I understand.
Well, like if you're strumming really really hard and stuff, but if there's pains that it's clearly you're not supposed to strum on that. I don't necessarily stop moving my hand.
Yeah.
I just keep the strumming going, and I just don't hit the strings every once in a while when I figure out what the rhythm is that it's asking me to do.
Right. And so mostly for this one, the strumming pattern is pretty much straight eighth notes. It's but there are times where it's sort of tripped up where it is like that. Where it's
right.
Yeah, and so I'm constantly moving my hand to keep the time, and I'm just looking and seeing, okay, if a quarter note is coming up, so I'm not going to play on the upbeat, but I'll still be moving my hand because I'm thinking of when it's that fast. So those are where all the quarter notes are. So I'm still doing all downstrokes and just not playing when it's there. But the good thing about Rocksmith is if you feel like you want to just play constant eighths through that, it's not going to penalize you for playing something extra that isn't there. So you don't have to, you don't necessarily have to be tied to the rhythm if you're doing more than what's expected.
Right.
Yeah, and so I think for a song like this, if you're using the dynamic difficulty system, it's pretty evenly spaced. But if you're the type that you're like, no, I want to see the full thing and just start off, I'd probably recommend slowing it down if it's not the kind of music that you're used to. In fact, I hadn't looked at it in months, and that's what I did. I went downstairs and down in riff repeater and slowed it down to I think 80% just so I could get it in my fingers. And then I bumped it up to 88, then 94, and then I was done.
99.2%. You can't argue with that kind of mastery.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was gonna say I did a similar thing just because the bass is slightly irregular. It's like, it's not just all the eighth notes.
Yeah.
But I just dropped it to 90 because I find for me, if I go too slow in riff repeater, it throws it off to like get the actual rhythm. So I just did 90 and then like brought it up to 100. You could probably add more steps because I don't think I'm playing it perfectly in terms of the rhythm, but that helps in terms of like getting the nuances to say like, oh, okay, they're holding this one, almost like skipping this note here or there, things like that.
Also, UB Vertigo has a question for you. He says, I wonder if Chris chose not to use a pick or if there was peer pressure around the office.
Oh, no, I chose not to use a pick. I actually prefer, like, it's more comfortable for me to play the bass without a pick.
Okay.
I like feeling the strings.
All right.
But yes, this was originally played with a pick.
Sure, if nothing else, for the attack, right? So, all right. Well, I'll be playing with that bass with a pick on the next song just to make up for it. In the meantime, I believe there's a giveaway going on right now for the Steam DLC for this pack, for the NoFX pack. So if you haven't entered that, do follow UB Vertigo's advice in the chat room and get yourself in on that goodies. We are going to take a break. And we'll be back with more music, but here's a pretty funny video now. The older that we get, the funnier it becomes, because this video was created back when Rocksmith 2014 launched in late 2013, and so as such, it has some familiar faces and people that you know, but they look 5 years younger than they do now, and it just shows just how much this job ages you. So enjoy the sound behind Rocksmith, this little featurette, and then we'll be back with more songs and more giveaways and more of your questions answered after this. Thanks for showing up.
I have to note.
Off.
Oh, no, we're
no,
back.
what?
No.
You ruined my segue, Chris. We're professionals. We've got new people watching. No, what were you going to say? The office was a lot smaller?
No, less saturated.
Less saturated?
Color-wise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The whole video is like very like...
It's super bland.
Yeah.
But now we're more colorful now. Well, here, enjoy it, and we'll be right back.
We've got a pretty good crew.
My dad was a big Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix fan. So I remember growing up watching a lot of videos and listening to a lot of recordings of that, and so I always wanted to play.
I started when I was 13, 14, playing bass, come from a really musical family.
My first involvement with music was in church.
I studied percussion from middle school through college, actually, and played tuba.
Picked up guitar in middle school because we had an acoustic laying around.
A friend of mine had a bass. I actually wanted to play bass at first, and then he told me, no, I'm the bassist.
you can't play bass. So I figured, all right, I'll pick up the thing that looks the most like the bass, and that happened to be the guitar.
Never had any lessons, kind of, was total power chord guy. Was in like a Nirvana cover band, all that good stuff.
Note Tracker transcribes all the music that all the guitars and basses are doing in a given song, and also creates a progression that will take someone from the first time they've ever played guitar, get them through the song and having fun, and eventually get them playing the entire song note to note as it was recorded.
The way we note track a song is we just load in an MP3. The game just knows what the notes are, and then we just sit back for 2 weeks and do nothing. No, for real, it's actually a very time-consuming process, and it's quite the endeavor. We get official assets from the licensors. We get the audio file, and then we have to first tempo map. It's beat mapping, and once we're done with that, we have to sit and listen to the recording and track every single note in every single position, and it takes a considerable amount of time. Then we enter into a review process. We use all the tools at our disposal to get it right. And then we go in and polish, and double check and re-review, come back and do it again. And that's really where all of this experience that everybody on the team comes into play. We got guys who come from a strong jazz background. We got guys who are heavy into heavy metal. We got guys who are studio technical guys who know how to go in and make a record, make it sound super pro and polished. We come from the conservatory setting ourselves mostly. We both studied composition. Born on the Bayou, not a technically difficult song to play, really straightforward, but it was really, really hard to note track because it's this kind of loose, strummy style of playing. There's this sort of difficult balance you have to reach between like, okay, here's exactly what's going on note for note in the song, versus here is something that it makes sense to teach a person to play. Something we've really tried to do in both games, but especially in Rocksmith 2014, is to make it one global, unified sound experience. And the audio design really has a lot to do with gluing that all together.
At the end of the first game, we were, again, looking for ways to make it better. And one thing that we wish we would have done more is kind of give somebody more of a space to learn how to improvise and kind of create their own sound. And so we thought, well, what if we make AI musicians? So we started with a drummer. We started with just one drummer that, when you played some stuff, the drummer listened to you and played along with you. The next step was we made a bassist and a guitar player and organ player. We kind of saw like, yes, this is the arena we were talking about. So that's what session mode is. In our audio engine, we actually made a sampler. I said, well, there's no way I could do all this. This is ridiculous. It took me 2 days to do one riff, and we need like thousands. Immediately did I realize that we needed composers. And so we got 6 guys. They make all the riffs that are gonna power the sampler instrument.
We had this big sheet of all of the different instruments that we're gonna be writing for. There'd be an example of like a song or a band and a song title or something to look at. And then when we'd actually get to those, he'd send us a few more songs.
Yeah.
Or we'd totally not listen to them and just do our own thing.
It's interesting to not have the kind of standard writing process that you would think would work. Kind of like the tested, tried and true things don't work all the time, so there's a lot of experimentation at the beginning.
Like I remember I was working on the blues guitar, and there were things for when it would play chords to make it really sound sort of realistic. It needed to be kind of slopped up. So all of the chords that I ended up writing, I ended up zooming way in and like moving each note up and down so you could really hear if it was an upstroke or a downstroke, and delaying the different strings so you could hear each string hit.
Coming from like a general album mixing or like song mixing perspective, you have one guitar, it's playing at one velocity, you have one bass, you have one drum kit, maybe you have a keyboard, but they're not moving targets, they're not going anywhere. So you can confidently say, yeah, I'm gonna filter this thing here and here, give some room to the bass here. You can sculpt this thing and it's not getting away from you. It's like a painting. Session mode,
it's a painting
it's
while
like
you're on acid. Mixing session mode was the coolest mixing project I've ever done in my life. Okay, all of a sudden we have all these instruments that need to work sonically with one another because you can pick any combination. It needs to match what you're doing. As you get more intense, the volumes need to come up, and that was just quite a beast of a task, but like I said, was just so much fun.
There's a lot of people who know a lot of different things about a lot of different areas of music, and there's also a shared common vocabulary about music so that we can all talk and understand and know what we're saying and communicate that to the players so that they understand how musicians talk to each other.
What is this?
Mine is not Scotch.
Oh, Jared McAdams, you lovable scamp. There's no way you'd be drinking in the office, right? Right? Welcome back to the Rocksmith live stream. This is our weekly live stream from Ubisoft Studio San Francisco here in the city by the Bay. I'm Dan Amrick. I'm your community developer on behalf of the brand here at the studio. And this here is Brian Shu. You may recognize him from my T-shirt. I am proudly wearing a Super Soul Bros T-shirt today. And Brian is, in addition to one of our note trackers, Brian Shu is the guitarist for Super Soul Bros. So if you like funky interpretations of classic video game music, then that's where you should go as Bandcamp for Super Soul Bros. I am hoping that one day you will tackle my favorite video game soundtrack of all time, which is Interstate 76, which is naturally funk. But we can talk about that later after the show. What we're doing this week is the NoFX DLC song pack. We mentioned this a little bit earlier in the show, but there's a lot of people that say, "How come you don't have?" And then you fill in their favorite band in the library. And it's, of course, because we have to license all of the music that we do. We don't just like sort of go through our CD collection and go, "Yeah, that'd be good. Let's put that in the game." There's a legal process that's involved that means that we have to get the permission for not only the songwriting but also the master recording. And those things take time, and they can be, it takes actually very, very long. So as it turned out, fans, we always tell fans, they're like, "Well, how come you don't have my favorite band?" I'm like, "Well, feel free to politely reach out over social media and let the artist know that that's something that you'd like to see their music in our product, because we have to, we both have to agree on that." And sure enough, their manager, NoFX's manager, reached out and said, "I'm getting a lot of people telling me that we should be in Rocksmith games. Should we talk?" I'm like, "Yes, we should talk." And so our people talked to their people, and it worked out. So thank you on behalf of us to the NoFX fans who did it the right way, and let the artist know that this was something that mattered to them, and the artist cared, and the artist agreed, and the artist reached out. So that can accelerate the process sometimes. And even with that, it was a good 6 months before we were able to get this stuff in the game. But we're playing all 4 of those songs now. They're out this week. And the next one is probably as close as NoFX has to a big hit single. I'm not sure where the song was used, but Linoleum is a song from their breakthrough album, Punk and Drublic. Sorry, it's supposed to be Spoonerism. I don't know where this was originally used, or if it was just got radio airplay or what. But
I'm not sure either.
But this is the one that a lot of people go, "Oh yeah, Linoleum." So they were very happy when this came out. Shu, you did the note track because that's your job here. You track notes. Anything to know about this?
This tune is pretty straightforward for lead guitar. For rhythm, there's a couple parts in the tune where he picks super fast, like Dragon Force fast. And
it's the new standard, right?
It's pretty hard, actually. I ran through it. I was like, "Oh God, that's so fast!" But beyond that, that's about the only kind of difficult part in it. It's a straightforward punk tune. And it's super catchy and fun to play.
And Chris Wu, also not a professional musician, got 99.2% on his bass line. So now I have to at least hit that, if not exceed it, which is going to be tough. But let's try it. Linoleum by NoFX. I'll be fine. Yeah. Have you heard me play bass? What do these strings do? Linoleum by NoFX, one of the 4 songs in this week's NoFX song pack, brought to you by you, the fans who helped make this happen. Oh, the basses don't use the 12th fret. This is a lie. You did this wrong. think I already ruined my 99%. I think I did that really early on, but going, oh, 6th on the blue. Yeah. I forgot the ending. I was busy shaking out my stupid hand. I bet you Chris Wu got me on this one. I'm going to call 97%. Nice. Oh, 98. Oh, look at that. Oh, so close. Oh, 4.5, half a percent, is it? Something like that? Yeah. That jerk. I hate Chris Wu. But this is a good song. It's a lot of fun. And well done. Do you have anything else you want to add about that, or should we?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Man, this is a rapid fire stream today, man. It's crazy.
These tunes are super fast.
Yeah.
Like that. You probably heard that super fast picking part.
I
right?
did, yes, and I was like, oh, that must be what he's talking about.
Yeah, sometimes they play it even faster when they're live because it's like the adrenaline.
Sure.
He's just going nuts. It's super cool. But the rhythm part's basically like the lead. That's like one of the only differences in the chart. So
fair enough.
Not much different.
Brian McCune, why don't you join us for the Q&A section? Because that's Brian McCune, ladies and gentlemen, is our manager of musical content, who I love to call the mangler of musical content. Brian is the person that runs the note tracking team and also has the extreme pleasure of being able to sit next to me.
But now I have the extreme pleasure of having a buffer between me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Brian Chu.
Oh, yes. At the moment, yes. I was going to say. Hey, it's time to do some Q&A. So if you have any questions for the team, now's a good time. Brian McCune can answer some questions. I can answer some questions. We're going to start with Baseman71 saying, where can I get Rocksmith stickers for my laptop? You can't, actually. I have.
Are we out?
Well, yeah, we ran out of these a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think I might have 3 or 4 at home that came out of either Taylor Benson's desk or Jared McAdams' desk. But I can tell you this: stickers that are this old. This dates back to Rocksmith 1.
Yeah.
The adhesion is terrible.
Yeah.
Like part of the reason I have so many stickers on my laptop is that I have other stickers on the corners of that sticker to keep it in place. So, I guess it's probably time for us to run some new stickers. But we are doing picks instead. Sorry. So at the moment we don't have any merch that you can get. The only way you can get merch really is to win our picks here. So keep tuning in and keep entering those. Thailander 95 says more cowbell. I don't know why, but congratulations to you. Andre V. Mope the second says, what are those large amps behind them? Those are large amps. We are very fortunate. We don't talk about this a lot, but we're very fortunate to have some really world-class gear sitting here in the office, partly because of our partnerships with companies like Marshall and Eden. So we have some really high-end. It's a Marshall SLP, right? It's a Super Lead Plexi. I'm looking at Pody. Yeah. So that's like one of the classic rock amps from the 70s, 60s and 70s, and into the 80s as well.
Who moved him up here?
I believe that was Pody and Travis because they're like, and Sam as well.
Sam's
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is an Eden World Tour WT800 with one of their 6x10 cabs. These are all fully functional. We do not have them plugged in. You're never going to hear them here because, as I mentioned, people are always like, Dan, sing on the stream. And no, people can hear just on the other side of that door. There's like 55 people, including the president of the company, working really hard. So imagine how much louder you could be with a Plexi Marshall, way louder than I can sing. And so no.
Well, we plugged into them for Live at Slim's.
We did. We actually used a lot of this gear at Live at Slim's last year when we celebrated the 5th anniversary of the show. Sort of like, where do we get the gear? Oh wait, we have the gear. We have a lot of gear. So But they certainly are doing us better as set dressing than sitting downstairs next to like our cubicles and like our little workstation desks. That's where they normally live. So there are times that we're here late, or perhaps when we're snowed in or rained in.
Oh, that's happened.
That these do get turned on when there's nobody around. But the truth is, it's a pretty densely packed office, so you can't really crank up a 100-watt half stack and have nobody notice. You'd be really, really bothering people. But yeah, there are some late night jams now and then. Okay, so here's an interesting question from Hadals. Guys, I know you keep saying favorite band, but what if it's not a band? Can we have some theme tunes to TV shows or even movies? Like the MacGyver theme from the 1990s or something like The Simpsons. It's funny you mention, because you may not be aware of this, but Rocksmith Goes to the Movies is something that you can get right damn now. Partly in a response to this, part of our issue with doing soundtracks, it's not that we're not willing to license them, but so often they are symphonic. And so, like, which part do you pick out? Probably you pick out the melody. So that's exactly what our friend Brian McCune did for Rocksmith Goes to the Movies. You rearranged...
Matt and I did.
Yeah, you and Matt Montgomery. Superman, Batman, Lord of the Rings, it's the...
Knife in the Dark.
Knife in the Dark.
Yeah.
And then also Back to the Future, and what's the one I'm
Jurassic
forgetting?
Park?
Jurassic Park, thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we went to the people that own some of the most famous movie themes of all time and said, can you do this? And this was one case where we asked for some songs and they said, I'm sorry, those are not available. However, these would be. So we were able to do that. So it's not off the table.
You didn't know that, Shu? Sorry, you didn't know.
You
that
looked surprised
that we got the denials on some of those songs.
Oh no, I was just
looking
at it.
Oh, okay.
It's my only way of participating.
No, we can ask you. You generally, you're quiet. You don't really like to talk so much, so I don't want to put you on the spot.
Okay.
You want to go? You can go.
You also play guitar.
It's true. Yeah, you can be playing guitar through all of this. If you would like to request themes like the MacGyver theme or or the Simpsons theme or anything else that is from a movie or a TV show or even a video game soundtrack, all we would ask is that if you know the name of the piece, that'd be great. Write it down, and then under the artist, instead of the artist, put down the name of the franchise. Say Assassin's Creed 3. Say the Munsters or MacGyver or whatever it is that you're asking for. The Munsters. Didn't a famous person do the Munsters theme? I thought that was like a famous session dude that did the Munsters theme.
I can't know everything.
You must know everything. So yes, it's not off the table. But if you want to request it, use the request tool at rocksmith.com/requests, and then just put in the name of the work from where the piece. Still Games says, is there a way to play Rocksmith through an amp, like through the Line 6 Amplify, then use a custom tone over the game? That would be cool. Well, not really sure how you want to connect it, but let me give you the following advice. One, don't put any signal path, don't put anything in the signal path before the guitar tone hits Rocksmith. Don't put pedals, don't put other processors. The Amplify is like a multi-effects unit. Don't put that before it gets to Rocksmith. Now, if you want to try to take the output of your console or your PC and then run that back into an amp, yeah, you can, but you're going to be like affecting an effect. Other people I have heard very successfully split their signal before, like out of the guitar, they split one off to their amp stack and one off to the game.
Yeah.
And that's pretty popular for people to do. It's not something we support, but obviously you're not going to break anything.
Yeah.
It might not sound very good, but you won't degrade the signal as it goes into Rocksmith. It's very important that Rocksmith gets an absolutely pure signal. The better the purity of the signal, the more likely it is that you're not going to have problems with detection, or it's not going to tell you that you missed something when you know you played it right. But using it with outboard effects is kind of dodgy at best. Rocksmith is really designed as its own effects and amp simulation ecosystem. You can run it to two things, but I wouldn't really recommend running it through another processor. Just because I don't think that you would get the best results out of that. Well, this actually ties into that. This is more for last week's pack, says Zephyroz. But is there a reason Rocksmith doesn't have a built-in drop pedal? Of the pedals that I do hear of people experimenting and putting before it gets to the game, I have heard of people doing pitch shifting pedals. This is to avoid down-tuning your guitar. Last week's DLC was a monomarth. It was in B standard, so that's a really long way to go down on if your guitar is set up for E standard. So some people have said, yeah, I like to use drop pedals, or I use the Variax Line 6's Variax guitar. Lets you automatically adjust the pitch. But why don't we do that in-game, Brian?
Because it would be weird.
It really would be weird if you are learning guitar. So no, you can answer if you
No,
want.
it's okay. No, it's especially now that with the support of acoustic mode, it would be very strange if you were playing a song in E standard tuning and then you were being tuned down to C sharp standard or C standard, and everything you were playing was a major or minor third above. That would just be. It would sound atrocious.
It's very difficult for new players, especially.
Yes,
Consider
exactly.
what it was like when you were first figuring out, okay, if I put my finger here, it makes this sound. Rocksmith replicates that. So if we start putting pitch shifting in there, you don't know if you're on the right fret. It's super confusing to newbies. So that's the main reason we don't do it. Yes, technically the technology exists to alter pitches with computers. We know that too. But that's why we don't do it, because it makes for a terrible learning experience.
Yep.
Thank you, Brian, for explaining that.
You're welcome.
That's perfect.
I'm glad to be here to help.
Rocksmith game. Is this the first time a band has approached you to be in the game? Asks CJ Blandford.
No.
No. I'm happy to say that Brian says no.
Yeah, we get pitches from the licensors often, and we'll vet them. Sometimes it's like, hey, we have our own re-record that we want you to consider. That wasn't the case with Colin Hay of Men at Work when we requested Down Under, but sometimes when we ask for a song, then they'll send back, hey, we actually have this other master recording of it that it's available to you, and then we'll listen to that. But yeah, a lot of times we'll get pitches from licensors, and I'll admit that a lot of times it's stuff that isn't really big on people's radar. Crowbot was pitched to us, and so that was a band where there weren't a lot of requests for it, and not a lot of people knew who they were, but Anthony and I and the team listened to it, and we're like, these riffs are perfect for Rocksmith, and they're great in the interface, and they're really fun.
Yeah.
And thankfully, everyone who's bought it and played it gets it and knows what I'm talking about. But we haven't been able to take too many risks like that because it's just not totally a thing that we can do all the time.
Yeah. I have two more questions, and then we've got a stack of questions. If you don't get your question answered on the air, don't worry. I will answer you in text. That's one of the reasons that I ask you to, and Honeypot is cutting and pasting all these things. So if I have missed your question, maybe I haven't missed it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. So thank you for being explicit in your questions. I have two left. One, Mr. Cool Cartoon says, any big plans for Christmas this year?
Yeah, I'm going to be celebrating it as usual.
Good for you.
No,
Yeah.
Are there big plans? Yeah, I'm sure you guys know that or as you in the audience know that we try to do something fun and do something big, but I'm not going to let you know what that is now.
I am.
You won't.
I will.
Don't even play.
We're
like
going to have a holiday special. Every year we have a holiday special. I haven't.
The stream. Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh! You were thinking in terms of like what's the big DLC that might be coming out towards Christmas Day?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh no. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we're all planning to take some time off. But no, I wasn't suggesting that we give away what the DLC release schedule is. We do have DLC scheduled and actually created and ready to go through the end of the year, and then we all get to take some time off.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, something fun that we do here on this show is we do a holiday special where I ask all of the note trackers to pick their favorite song from the year, whether they note tracked it or not, whether it was like their greatest accomplishment or just something that like, man, I used to love this song growing up, or this inspired me to play guitar, whatever. But it's sort of like the note trackers who work all year long to do all this stuff finally get just like one day where they can get to play guitar for fun on the stream. And we'll also do a whole bunch of giveaways and things like that on that stream. It'll be an extra long stream. I'll announce the final date once we have it squared away. But I do know that we're going to be giving away some fun stuff this year. And of course, we'll have as many people on the stream as we can possibly fit.
Holiday hype.
Holiday hype. So yeah.
Shu, do you know what? Have you picked your song yet? I haven't.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't either.
No, nobody. I've asked everybody, hey, start thinking about it. They're like, I'm starting to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I've stopped thinking about it. I got to go back to work.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be something that's decided, 5-6 days before we actually go live, if I'm lucky, as the guy who has to schedule all this stuff.
But it's a fun, like, mega stream. It's a long one.
Yeah.
And it's just us playing for fun, and there's usually a lot of holiday cheer.
Do you mean eggnog?
Eggnog.
Jared generally makes sure there is some holiday cheer.
Yeah. So show up. It's a good time.
Yeah, we'll announce that and we'll advertise that heavily and obviously let you know the kind of prizes you're going to be able to win when we get that far. And the last question I want to ask is, Toy Machine SH, for those of you who don't know, his name is Elliot. He runs theriffrepeater.com. He's one of our most loyal fans, and he is also one of the most annoyingly detail-obsessed people I've ever seen.
I admire it.
I don't. I hate him. He's terrible. And you say one thing once on Twitter 8 years ago, and this guy's got a database where he's like, remember when they said this? So he's got, mind like a steel trap, full of mice. But he asks, what happened to the TV? Nobody has asked about the TV except Elliot's going to ask about the TV. When this set was designed, the idea was that we would have a TV in the back that we would be able to rotate images or band logos or stuff like that. And then, it just didn't work out that way. And what it turned out to be was a major pain in the butt because we got new lighting, and the lighting looks great on the people, but it creates these terrible, glares on the screen behind us. And it just wound up not being worth it for what we were getting out of it. So Pody and Travis, the TV is still there. We've just got some artwork from our friends at Gibson covering it. That's all.
I promise that Brian Shu didn't come in after hours and throw a big party in this room and
smash the TV.
And someone smashed the TV.
Yeah, no, not at all.
That didn't happen.
The TV may yet return, but for right now, this isn't that a pretty headstock? Yeah, Pody's like, I hope the TV doesn't return. He's giving me the thumbs down behind the camera. So that's it for today's Q&A. Anyway, we've got more stuff. We've got one more song. We've got another giveaway. And, of course, we've got some beautiful slides to show you. But thank you. If your question was not answered, stick around until the end of the show. I'll be happy to answer it. But also, in case you missed it, we do have other punk in our library that may interest you. We have a Rancid song pack, and we have a Bad Religion song pack. Both of these are available now. They're available on all platforms, I do believe. So, we also have a lot of pop punk. I know that, sometimes it gets very contentious where some people say, that's not real punk or that's not real metal or whatever. We don't really see it that way. We just see it as music that either inspires you to play or doesn't. And, of course, that's different for everybody. But when it comes to NoFX, they are a punk band that has a lot of credibility. They were offered big major label deals, and they did not take them. They wanted to do it their way. And, when I think of their contemporaries and sort of like what people would call quote unquote, which is, real punk, which I don't agree with because of all the things I just said. But, Rancid and Bad Religion may also exist in your punk library right next to NoFX. So if you're interested in them, those are available. Once again, I'm going to remind everybody that if you are in Canada, run, don't walk to the iTunes store to get Rocksmith for iOS. It's only available in Canada right now. We are in soft launch, and we will continue to be in soft launch. We have a new update coming, which should be here early next week, hopefully Monday. We're going to find out, because last time I said something was coming for iOS on the stream, it didn't. It was the only time I ever said, look for it on Monday, and then the world fell apart and things went wrong. So I'm not going to do that again. But I will tell you that the Black Keys is available in 2 packs, or you can buy them both in one bundle. Yes, it looks like Bloomer for the Win must be here because I see in the chat room there's a whole bunch of his icons, and he is proudly from outside Ottawa. Oh, no, it's Paladin43. He actually helps run Bloomer for the Win's stream. So those of you who are up in Canada, please give this a shot, and we would love to hear your feedback. Not only do we have a dedicated area on Rocksmith.com in our forums, but we are looking for any of your reviews on the iTunes store. That is a pretty critical metric for those of us here in the biz. And again, I'm not asking you for give us a 5-star review. I'm just saying review it. We'd love to hear your feedback. We need this kind of feedback to continue to make the program better as it gets ready for its worldwide launch. And when's that coming, Brian? Eventually. When it's
Sometime
damn good and ready.
in the future.
Yeah, soon TM, which I have heard that the translation to soon online means when we feel like it. It's really much more when it's ready. We want to put out the best possible thing. And thank you to our Canadian friends for helping us ensure that happens. We got one more song, and Brian McCune is here for that. So I've sort of spoiled the reveal. Look, Brian's here, everybody! Yay!
Look, I showed up to work today.
Yeah, way to go.
I'm in a mood.
That's fine. I love it when you're surly on the stream. We have so many new people watching this week. I'm glad that you get to make a terrible first impression.
Good.
Anthony Martinez. Hi there, Mikey. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Dan?
It's
I'm
going
doing
all
well.
right. Thanks for having a more positive attitude than Brian McCune, manager of musical content.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
That's Anthony, Mr. First Impression Martinez.
That's true. I believe you won the poll again this year for most polite person in the office.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it.
You were supposed
And
to
thank you.
Thank you. I set you up for it and everything. And
Well, you didn't give me the opportunity. I wanted to stretch
about
it out
thank
a
you
little
very
bit.
much?
I thought
So
just a
rude.
thank you would be. This is uncalled for.
I've offended, sir. So you guys are going to do our last song from the NoFX song pack, which is "Sticking in My Eye." Anthony, is this one of your tracks?
No, this is actually one of Shane's songs.
It's Shane
he's
Gann.
out on tour with his special group.
Yes, Hail the Sun.
Yeah,
Hail the Sun.
They're amazing. Be sure to check them out.
I think they have an EP that drops tomorrow.
Oh, really?
That they didn't tell anyone about. And
Oh,
it just-
shoot,
it just-
already?
And it just got, and it was a total secret for like a long time, and then they're dropping an EP tomorrow. So check it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
know that. Obviously, if I'm going to wear Shoes T-shirt, I'm going to talk about Shane's band. That's great.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow. Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah,
Well, go
yeah.
to hailthesun.bandcamp.com if you want to learn more about that. But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, that's the thing is that Shane's out, and when Shane's away, his ghost remains, and we have to say who can play his stuff. What did you learn about Sticking in My Eye from taking this one over?
Man, it's a lot of fun. This is actually one that I reviewed while it was in production, and yeah, I mean it's challenging too. It's fast moving. It's a 2.5 minute workout. It's just a great song.
They
I mean,
are all 2.5 minutes, and they're all workouts.
Oh yeah, it's a test of endurance for sure, and I love what Mike does on bass, especially for the intro. He plays these intervals. It's a nice little introductory riff, and then everyone comes in, and the song hits hard, and yeah, it's a blast.
It says something that you specifically asked to play bass before anyone even got to pick the song. So you're like, I know this
That's
is a good
true.
bass part.
Yeah.
So
you were like,
yeah.
I'll do bass on Sticking in My Eye. I'm like, okay, great. I'm not going to ask why.
Before Dan even said anything.
I just need
Yeah.
players on these things,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
All right, well then let's play "Sticking
Cool.
in My Eye" by NoFX, one of the 4 songs in the NoFX song pack, available now on all platforms except iOS.
I'm ready. Am I? I don't know.
I am going to go dig into some of those questions that I promised to answer before. I need you to play that again. I only got through like 3 questions.
Oh, did you blink?
Yeah. Yeah, I blinked because there was something sticking in my eye.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for not ruining that segue, by the way. Just not like Chris Wu. Hey, yeah. Holy cow, that's super fast, and I like the fake ending there.
Yeah.
I always fall for that fake ending too. Yeah. Anything else you want to add? Because
it's fast
it
and
is
difficult. I took this.
Oh, go ahead.
I took this into riff repeater. That if I guess you can't see the progress bar anymore, but that section that's Anyway, the section that that moves up a lot. It's really fast, and there's these really short notes. And when I went into sight read this, I was like, "Whoa, that's like I don't know what's happening like rhythmically because the tempo is so fast." So my standard go-to is to just highlight a section, take the speed down to 70, and then I go into the advanced settings and I change the speed increments to 3%. And so I have basically 10 different speeds between 70 and 100%. And if I can play it right, then it levels me up. Make sure that I like get the rhythms right, and then I can do it quickly.
Yeah.
But jumping into that cold is that's something else entirely. But yeah, that helped me make sense of it. Hopefully that tip works for you as well.
Yeah. And during the same part, I think it's like the second half of the first, I guess it's like a post-chorus riff. The bass actually jumps up here, and I totally forgot about that. I remembered it at the end, but I was like, oh, shoot, it's that cool part that I'm missing. But yeah, it's really great movement and a great way to change it up on bass.
Do you want to play it again? We have time. No, I'm kidding.
We could.
We could. I don't care if you want to. You feel like it?
I'm super down.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're serious.
Why not?
Absolutely. I
Don't
love
call
this
me
song.
Shirley, but I'll do
Big
it.
Purple Tony said there was no way I could stretch this out to an hour and a quarter today. So if we play 5 songs instead of 4, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Here's Sticking in My Eye, Encore Edition from NoFX. Hey, man, it's 2 minutes, 35 seconds. What do you want?
Yeah.
When we finish this, the trailer is going to be longer than any of the songs in the trailer. So, what the hell? This is now they're going to ask for this every week. You realize that? Yeah, that was better that time. That was better. You were warmed up.
I had more fun.
Now, if we did it the third time, then you would fall apart because your fingers would start to hurt too much. Yeah, so that's it.
All right, I improved.
You did. Look at that.
Right.
See, we're proving the Rocksmith method. We're not stretching for time. I don't care if we go to an hour and a quarter. Honestly, I mean, this was always supposed
play
to
it again.
No. It was, we were always supposed to be an hour stream. That was always, and then like I started looking at the data from every week, and I'm like, God, I can't shut up. We always go to an hour and a
said
quarter.
it, not me.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm well aware of my flaws, Brian McCune. You need not point them out.
Well, no, I just like to echo and jab whenever you.
I appreciate
whenever
that.
you
No,
claim them.
no, it's called self-deprecation for a reason. When you do it, you're just a bully.
That's true.
That's
right. You are the worst.
Thank you very much for being willing to do that twice.
Yeah,
Of course,
that's fun.
yeah, it was fun. Yeah,
I
That's
it
a
was a blast.
super cool bass line.
It really is, yeah. And this bass sounds amazing on the song too.
That would be the Ernie Ball Music Man Caprice, if you're wondering. This is on loan, and I just look down. There's a chip in it. There's a chip in the body. I don't know who put it there, but now we're
Maybe
liable for
maybe
it.
that Brian Shu house party he had in the room.
You said that was lying.
It was lying. I made
Okay.
it up.
Yeah, so
But now he can do it.
If you'd like more information about that bass, just ask me in the chat. I think I have answered pretty much every question that I can in the chat. So that actually did buy me the time that I was looking for. And that means we can go straight ahead to our giveaway. Because we promised this at the top of the show, too. We have 2 of these to give away, and we gave away one. Here's the other one. If you have recently won an Ernie Ball prize pack, please don't enter to win this one, too. You know, let's spread the love around a little bit, because somebody's going to win a brand new set of strings for their guitar and their bass, a brand new peg winder, a set of Wonder Wipes, which are Ernie Ball's system of care and maintenance. So it's a little pre-moistened towelettes, kind of like you'd find it at like Kentucky Fried Chicken, if you will, except instead of cleaning your fingers, it cleans your strings, which will make them last longer. When you are changing your strings, you can use their fretboard conditioner to restore some of the oils in the wood that naturally get stripped out when you play guitar. And of course, polishing the body as well, the body and the neck, and any places where you put your grubby little hands on it. You don't want to leave residue behind, because it will make your guitar look and feel nasty. The Wonder Wipes system helps that. A brand new strap, as I mentioned before. Right now, these are the Poly Pro 2-inch Ernie Ball straps. That's how much I know about these products. I know what they're called and their trade names and their brand names, and it's black, so it'll match pretty much anything you put on there. And then, of course, we've got a dozen picks from Ernie Ball. They are medium gauge picks in a variety of colors, if memory serves. And then we also have 3 of the Rocksmith picks. We make these special just for you, the viewer of our stream. We had a special pick design for our 1,000-song milestone. We're now up to 1,100 songs, and then some. But we still have some of those. Those are the black and white ones. And then we've also got some new pink Skullboy picks, which I happen to have here, which, of course, you can't really see them because we're so far away. Look, now it's in 3D, to steal a joke from old SCTV. So yeah, you'll get 2 of the black and white picks while they last, and then 1 of the pink picks. And then, of course, when we start getting really low on the black and white picks, we'll flip that, so that we'll give out 2 of the pink picks, 1 of the black and white picks. And when they're gone, they're gone. What we've been doing is we introduce a design, and then once it's run its course, it's run its course. That's it. So get your collectible picks now by following whatever's going on in the chat room for the raffle. I think it's almost done. There's still time. Just follow UB Vertigo's advice, and thank you to UB Vertigo. That's Doug. He's our community manager, and he does a bang-up job of pretty much a lot of the stuff that I used to do alone. Doug now helps me carry the massive load that is the Rocksmith community. So all of those social media messages that you see out there, that's Doug. And doing all the giveaways here, that's Doug. Honeypot01 is helping actually physically ship these prizes because he's our intern. And so if you win the prizes that we were just giving away, send your information to UB Vertigo. UB Vertigo will send it to Honeypot and myself, and then we will all get together and ship boxes out. I will point out that somebody won last week and did not give us their information. So I have to put you on notice. It's a 3 strikes and you're out thing. If we don't hear from you within 3 weeks of you winning, then we do give it away to somebody else. So If you are not sure if you won, please check your Twitch messages under the other column, because you've got incoming messages from friends and contacts, and then there's like other random people that can also write to you. And that's generally where UB Vertigo shows up, because he's not friends with everybody. He's just one guy. He can't be. So if you don't know whether you won last week or not, please check your messages. Maybe you did, and we would rather ship you the prizes than have to pick somebody new. It's a pain in the butt for us. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. It's time for my outgoing crap that I always have to talk about. If you have more questions for us that I was not able to answer, or if you have a more specific question, there are 3 different main places you can go to get them answered. If it's short, and by short I mean 280 characters or less, you can go to us on Twitter. We're at Rocksmith Game. If you want to ask on Facebook, where you have a bit more space to play, we're facebook.com/Rocksmith. And then if you have a really long thing and you want to get a lot of people's advice on it, go to our forums. That's rocksmith.com. And if you click on the little chat bubble icon at the top of the screen, you'll be able to go straight to our forums. A lot of very friendly people there. You will get helpful advice there. So I highly recommend it. Where I know some people are like, I don't want to go to the forums. People make fun of me for what I don't know. I'm really proud to say that the Rocksmith community is not one of those communities. Everybody that's in this community has been learning how to play guitar better, just like you. So there is no such thing as a stupid question. There's a really good chance that if you're having a problem on a song, or maybe even with some part of the game technically or whatever, somebody had suggested earlier that they wanted to figure out how to stream Rocksmith. Well, that's a good place to go and ask for advice as well. Because that's the kind of stuff where the community will come together and go, I've been where you are, here's my advice, and here's how you can do it. So that's rocksmith.com in the forums, where, as a matter of fact, tomorrow, since our heroic CM Doug will not be in the office, he has a day off, I will be posting Rolling Stone 222's clue. So what we do every week is we ask Rolling Stone 222, who's really good at puzzles, to create a little puzzle, a little clue, something for you to pore over and work together to solve. And when you have solved it, it will let you know, hey, yes, this is, sometimes we will confirm it, or other times the puzzle itself will confirm what the next DLC pack will be. It could be an artist pack, it could be a variety pack, it could be a theme pack. But because Doug works on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast, I won't be posting this probably until I get into the office. So it will go up a little bit later tomorrow. Maybe that's better for you if you're the kind of person that always misses out on the fun. But do check rocksmith.com's forums tomorrow. In the DLC area, I will post the clue, and I will also confirm if the community solves it, and let you know that you've gotten it right when you have. That's it, I think. We'll leave you with another look at the NoFX song pack, because that's what I'm here to plug this week. 4 songs from NoFX available now in Rocksmith. Hopefully you're digging this. We're obviously digging it. It's a lot of fun. It's very fast. It might not be the kind of playing that you normally do, but that's why we put a wide variety of material in the game, so that you can get exposed to different kinds of stuff and have it influence your style so that it becomes truly your own, taking a little bit of inspiration from a whole bunch of different places. So take a look at this trailer. We'll see you back here next week. Please do show up Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 11 p.m. UTC. We moved our clocks back, so hopefully everybody found us again this week. But we'll be back here same time next week. Thanks very much. I'm Dan Amrick. I've been and will continue to be your community developer. And go watch a video and go home. Bye, everybody.